Hello, it is Diane with Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com, and I saw this card, well, similar card to this, in the catalog on page 167. So I'm kind of casing the catalog. The instructions in the that I could find they didn't give any measurements or anything, so I'm kind of made those measurements up for a local class that I'm having. And it's using something that surprised me. It's actually using the Wisteria wishes, and it's taking these and turning them into trees, Christmas trees, and making a Christmas card. And I thought that was very unique, a way to use a stamp set in one way that I would never have thought. And then, hold on just one moment. And then the little label that they had, I just wanted to do something different, and I had just gotten the beautiful shapes dies, and I really liked this kind of swirly looking tag. It creates an embossed swirl around the edge of this tag, and so I wanted to use those for this card. And so let me go over the measurements of things with you. These measurements are on my blog at www.dianesblueheartsandbutterflies.com, and I do put the dimensions of everything on my blog, as well as a link to this video, so that those people who still cannot attend my local classes will be able to watch the videos and order the card kits for being able to do that. And I love sharing these things with everyone. So we'll start with the card base. It's just a typical card base that's 5.5 by 8.5. You scored in landscape at the 4 1/4, and then you just use your bone folder to burnish the edge. Get that crisp crease across there so that it will stay stay closed and fold very easily. Then I cut a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4 out of the crumb cake, and I also did one out of the basic white cardstock. This one could be stamped and put on the inside of that card base. I didn't bring out any Christmas stamps right now. I figured I would stamp that later. This is the piece that you will stamp the trees in the background and then put that on top of here. I also have a strip that is 2 inches by 5.5 inches of the basic white cardstock. It goes across the full width of the card. This one is just going to be used to freehand that snow hill covered scene right like that. And then I have a piece of designer series paper. This one is balmy blue. The one that I used in the first card that I made is actually the Tahitian Tide. I was making some of the kits ready for the class, and I actually ran out of the Tahitian Tide, and it was back ordered, so I couldn't order any right now. So I did order some of the balmy blue, which is actually the color that was in the catalog, and this one will fit on here. I also got a piece of scrap of the basic white cardstock to stamp the trees on, and then the label, I cut that out of the real red cardstock, and so that we could stamp the sentiment on that piece. So let me go ahead, set some of these aside. Well, I'm going to use those two. And then, so this one, it was just using the paper snips, and you can start anywhere you want. You just want to make sure that you go between these two, and if you want your heel curving however you want it to curve, then you just kind of freehand that, creating your hillside landscape, snowy landscape kind of for those trees. Now some of the trees are going to go back behind, and some are going to come forward on top of that. So I basically just kind of created that, and then it's going to go over the blue once we get it on there. So the stamping, these again are photopolymer stamps, so I'm going to want to use the Stampin' Pierce matte for the cushion behind these. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on. This one's the the basic white. Got to get used to changing that in my vocabulary. And so what I did was just take the 3 of the looking flowers parts, and I just did 3 sets of the 3 flowers. And I'm using Old Olive. You could take and I may have to get another piece of cardstock because I don't think this scrap is big enough. In my class, I was able to give them some more. Maybe it was just 2 sets. Hold on. 1, 2. It is just 2 sets. It's not 3 sets. So I did give it to them. And then you could stamp off and have them a little bit lighter if you wanted, or leave them darker, or even use some of the other green colors if you want. There is a die with this set. If you get the bundle, it comes with the Wisteria Wishes stamp set, and it comes with the Wisteria dies. And there is a, sticking together here. There is a die that cuts these 3 out, and I went ahead and I did cut those out, and then where they're still together, I just used my snips and I cut those apart, just kind of rounding them off to cut those all apart. So there were 6 of these. And let me set that aside. And then let me get the crumb cake. I didn't use Versamark, I just used the crumb cake ink. And the single, there is a single flower kind of that it could go on and make another colorful layer. But this one I just went ahead because it's kind of gives the image of the tree without kind of taking over. And I just stamped it kind of randomly, but I stamped off before stamping on so that it's kind of more in the background. And most of these are going to be hidden anyway by the blue piece and the white piece that we put on here. Sometimes I get to talking and I lose track of what I'm doing and end up stamping full force on here. Just trying to pay attention a little bit so I don't do that. Oh, just like I did. Just trying to think where to put that next one. Okay, so you just kind of put those all over this layer. Set that aside. And then the label. Set it aside. Anyway, let me move these. And I went ahead and made a kit that I've already got everything cut out and done on, and you can see those 6 trees that I did cut those apart after getting them cut. And then let me again fold this base, And then I just adhered this crumb cake layer to the base. I think in the catalog it said Sahara Sand. Oh, this is one thing I don't like about the Seal Plus is sometimes it'll grab an edge and won't let go. It'll just keep peeling. So I try to get rid of it and then go back over a different direction. Oh, get that base out of my way here. Alright, and then I just stuck this down with a slight border around it. And then I did the same thing with the blue piece. I used the dots because I thought it looked like snow. And I think that's what they were going for in the catalog. I did notice that we have the new catalog coming out, and they're bringing back some of the items that we've had previously, and I'm really excited about some of those. So this one I kind of put up a little bit higher because the landscape part is going to cover over the bottom more, so I wanted to get more of the blue kind of sky up here, and I would be covering the bottom with the landscape anyway. Now the landscape piece, I did use dimensionals to pop that up so that there would be a little bit of dimension on the front of the card. Probably should have done something before putting these on, but the other thing that I did for the class is brought out my Wink of Stella pens, the glitter brushes, and you can just take and add a little bit of sparkle to your snowbank, if you want to call it that, kind of a glistening to that using this glitter brush. It's kind of like a paint brush. There is clear liquid, and these things last quite a while, but if you are running a little bit low, you can always add the some 70% or 90% alcohol, rubbing alcohol into this and shake it up real good. When you do need a little bit more on the brush, you squeeze the barrel and it comes down in here so you can kind of see. But you want to be careful in doing that because it does come out quite a lot. But maybe you can see this. The other option is to get the shimmery white cardstock, and you could actually cut this out of that. So I do have the dimensionals on here, so I'm going to go ahead, pull these off. Some of my fingernails have broken recently, and it's a little harder. I'm not used to grabbing them so low. So here, you just want to make sure that you get it going from one side of the card to the other. Kind of try to keep it a little straight if you can. There we go. And then I was able to add some trees behind it and then some trees in front of it. So the ones that I'm just sticking behind it, I'm just going to use the adhesive. And so I'm going to put one there. And since you have the dimensionals, you can kind of go down a little bit and create some different heights in here too. Get the adhesive on the back. And this one's going to be a little bit bigger. Just right in there. Now I'm going to put a few. These I'm going to use the mini dimensionals at the top. And then I'm going to glue them to this that's already popped up, so I have a little bit of dimension. This one. when you have a part of it gluing onto something that's already popped up, you just need to put dimension behind where it's not going to be, and then you just add the regular glue to the part that is going to glue to the thing that's already popped up. But I, of course, fell in love with this stamp. It's one of my favorite flowers, so it was pretty much the first thing that I decided to order in the catalog. So there we go. Gives a little bit of dimension there. One down here. And right here. And then we have the label here, and I already have dimensions, so I didn't want to add any more. So I just added some adhesive to the back of this, and then just kind of stuck this over onto one side. And then you can use the fine tip glue pen or any other type of glue that you like. And I also grabbed some sequins. I still have a bunch of sequins from other years, so I just brought those out, but I know that there's going to be more sequins coming. Of course, I spill it all over the table. And then I'm going to bring out the take your pick tool for grabbing those, and you just add a little bit of glue where you'd like to add some of these sequins. These particular ones have some stars as well as some silver and white. I think I'm gonna have to get some more of this fine tip glue. Alright, it's not working for me right now, so let me put that over there. You can use the white craft glue. You just want to make sure that you don't push very hard at all, or else you're going to have a big bunch of glue to add this sequin to. I'm just going to put a couple of those down, and then I'm going to add the sequins that I want. Sorry, this is the part that takes too long when you're deciding what you want to put on here. Another one. Oops, stay down. You can also add some to this here. There are also some clear ones. So I'm gonna leave it like that. I can finish that part later, but I just wanted to share these ideas with you. And again, this piece I can put inside, and I can stamp that one later to go along with a greeting that I want to send to someone around Christmas time. And I hope that you will check out the blog post that is linked to this video, so that you can get the dimensions that are on there, as well as see other projects that I've made and links to those videos as well. I would love for you to shop with me for buying any of these products that you would like, if you don't have a demonstrator already. And also, if you would help my channel by clicking like and subscribing, and then click the bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, and share this with others that you think might enjoy the same projects. I appreciate your time that you have given and I really enjoy sharing what I love to do. Thank you.